WWE wrestlers have voiced frustrations with Def Rebel. A major WWE star made their in-ring return, and future WWE Championship plans have been revealed. Stay tuned for all the wrestling news. I think one of the biggest issues right now with WWE programming is the music, because it's very hard to recognize who's actually going to walk out the tunnel. And it's all down to, personally for me, Def Rebel. And I think it comes down a lot of people to Def Rebel. And not just people watching, but also it's seemingly, according to a report from Fightful Select, according to WWE wrestlers as well, that's how they're feeling, having voiced and expressed negativity and frustration towards Def Rebel produced theme music. Now, the report says that despite asking, multiple WWE stars were seemingly not told why their entrance music was changed from CFO $sign to Def Rebel. Is it CFO $sign? CFOs?
CFOS, I've heard all sorts of it. I have no idea. Bring them back.
That one. Fightful's report also states that those spoken to claim they've never had any contact with Def Rebel or never even met Def Rebel, which feels weird when they're producing music that's meant to sort of embody who they are.
Yeah, it was a big thing, especially sort of during the Jim Johnson era, where like wrestlers would meet with him and like he knew their characters.
He was a fan, right? Like he knew their characters.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've all seen like Beyond the Mat where he's there and he's talking about Vader's theme music and he's plodding down to the ring and he just gets it. It felt like he was a proper wrestling fan who had invested in those characters, and then through his genius, his true genius, was able to turn that into something which was so fitting with the characters. And I don't think we get that with Def Rebel. I think presentation for me is like one of the biggest things in wrestling. Presentation and production are two of the biggest reasons that I watch wrestling. This is going to sound awful, but my favorite thing about wrestling is the entrances.
The entrances, that, to be fair, a lot of people feel that way. It feels the spectacle of it, especially when you get to a WrestleMania. I can't imagine a special WrestleMania entrance with a Def Rebel produced theme feeling big.
Well, they've got a few decent ones. I think you've got to like highlight the positives sometimes, and they've got a few that are all right, but generally look at the Rumbles, right?
Yeah.
So many times like a Rumble entrance will happen until that name or their face pops up on the Tron.
Their catchphrase is said in the music.
Who are they? Like people really don't know who they are, and it's been a big problem for the longest time. I think we're just waiting this out at this point, aren't we? They're getting rid.
That problem was evident in that clip of Seth Rollins at Royal Rumble sitting in the crowd and not knowing who was walking out, and he's one of the wrestlers, and he's not aware of whose music is whose because it all sounds so similar. But on the back of the report that WWE was looking to hire a new director of music strategy and operations, that same report from Fightful states that one WWE name is now hoping for a more motivated and personalized approach to entrance music going forward, as you'd kind of imagine what we were touching on with that Jim Johnson note. However, it's reportedly unlikely that Jim Johnson would come back or CFO $sign would come back to the role, which is a real shame, but understandable. It is a new era. We kind of do need a new...
Yeah, I don't have a problem with anyone new
fight vibe.
People always go like, "Oh yeah, bring Jim Johnson back." He's got to be like early 70s
He's
now.
71.
Is he?
So he's probably enjoying his retirement.
Yeah, good for him, right? And like, it's a great nostalgic thing, and I think he's the best to ever do it. I think he was amazing at his job. But find somebody new who gets it a little bit more. They've just not been that good, and they've had a few decent ones, but generally speaking, I think a lot of stuff sounds really generic and unrecognizable.
And one of the examples of that is Randy Orton. He managed to turn down his Def Rebel remixes that were reported on, and it makes him feel so grand because you get that whole... I mean, obviously that theme's been with him since 2009, but the whole arena singing his theme, you can't do that with just a Def Rebel theme.
It says a lot when like Randy Orton has been quite open about the fact that he's never really liked Voices, but he'd rather Voices, the song that he doesn't like, than something by Def Rebel. It certainly says a lot.
Well, staying with the music theme just a minute here, a report from Fightful Select has said that AEW's music producer Mikey Ruckus has signed a new deal with the company, which will keep him with AEW going forward. Now, he's been with the company since 2019. When you talk about entrance music, I think he's nailed it for AEW. I feel like the themes he produces get that aspect down. They nail the character and know who he's writing music for. It just feels like a part of them, and I'm glad he's sticking with them.
I like his work as well. I think he's really, really decent. He's had some bangers. He's had Wild Thing, great song.
Great song.
Where is my mind? When
Also
Final
great.
Countdown, that Mikey Ruckus original stuff.
music. Yeah,
exactly. I like Mikey. I think he's good at what he does, and he's he's a wrestling fan who really gets the characters.
Yeah.
I always feel a bit like bad for whoever's put in that position, because you hear of like, and it's happened with CFO, $, with Jim Johnson, with Def Rebel as well. Sometimes they're given a day to sort these out. It's like, this is who you're doing it for. Sometimes they've not even been on TV. It's a job that I wouldn't like personally, but I hope they find someone good. That was
something Mikey Ruckus actually mentioned about Sting's music. It was a very short notice thing. I'm not 100% on that, but I feel that he was mentioning one on a podcast where he was like, I found out the day before that I had to just make something, and it's like, cool, that's his
Sting.
That's his theme. Well. That's his theme for the entire run, and it's so good.
Yeah, no, like, he nailed it with Sting. So at least with that, I guess, like, you know what Sting's about. Like, Sting has been doing it forever. You know what the character is, but like, imagine the pressure of like, you're coming out with this really super important thing, like Sting's entrance. It's got to be epic. You got a day.
Got a day. Do it. Come on, get something. It's going on TV tonight.
It's a rough job, isn't it?
Very. But so Mikey Ruckus staying with AEW. But looking forward to next week's SmackDown. A huge tag team match has been set.
It has Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton are going to be teaming up to take on Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. This is going to be the night before Cody Rhodes, of course, goes one-on-one with Gunther for the Crown Jewel Championship, and now the night before Randy Orton takes on Kevin Owens as well. I've read the spoilers. I'm not going to say it's pre-taped.
I have avoided the spoilers, but yes, it is pre-taped. So
who do you think would win that one?
I think it's going to go to a no finish.
Do you?
I personally, if I having not seen anything, I would call a no finish because they're both world champions.
That's why you're not booking WWE. Comment section, let them know if you know. Ruin it for everyone. I'm not going to say anything.
Ruin the day for everyone. I mean, I would go. If I'm going to choose a winner, I'd choose Cody Rhodes or Randy Orton.
Okay.
I'd have them win purely because as much as the belts are meant to be equal, it's Cody Rhodes, and I think Gunther's winning at Crown Jewel. Personally, it's tough to really call though.
You look at those names, and there's one person there that I'd probably say they're taking a pin.
Yeah, I know who's taking the pin.
So you know who's winning? Maybe. Okay, we're moving on. Move on.
Maybe. But after SmackDown last night, Seth Rollins made his return to the ring. He's been out of action for some time now. Obviously, he's been on programming in that program with Bronson Reed, but his actual return match from injury took place with Dominic Mysterio last night. He hasn't actually had a match since Money in the Bank. It has been that long, hasn't it?
Bloody hell, yeah.
Because we saw him at SummerSlam. He was the guest referee, but he's not actually had a match since July against Damian Priest.
That's crazy. I thought he might be doing house shows or something. Obviously, it'll be great to see him back proper in the ring. I hope they give the win to Bronson. I really do. I think they will, because they totally turned Bronson around. Just like from the moment he came in and he hit, was it 6 tsunamis?
6 tsunamis. And he went off script with that.
Yeah, apparently so.
It's like, man,
he just felt the crowd.
He knows what to do.
He's great, and I thought he was a little bit dead in the water, for want of a better...
When he came back as the Mrs. Bodyguard?
No, just sort of, well, they tried a load of stuff with him, and nothing was really clicking. And then he comes in and he just splashes some bloke 6 times, and it's sorted.
Like, we want that.
He's been doing the stuff with Braun, which I think has been tremendous as well. It's just like doing
the tsunami
spots
on the car.
Big memorable moments you're giving him. They properly invested in Bronson Reed, and I hope they do. At the same time, Seth loses a lot. No, Bronson should win.
Yeah, Seth can take that loss.
Oh, we've been saying that for years, though. Seth needs to stop losing as well. Hey, somebody's got to lose.
However, if Bronson hits 6 tsunamis, that explains why Seth's losing. You know, I feel like we're going to see quite a few of them if Bronson's winning. It's not just going to be a one and done.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
It's going to be a lot of fun. But looking forward to Saturday night's main event next month.
December, almost. Month and a bit.
We've got some future plans for both world titles seemingly being revealed in this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter. It reports that the current plan is Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Championship. I don't feel like that's too much of a surprise.
No, that's been mentioned before. But the other one?
Yeah. Gunther versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship. We've seen teases of this on programming. I felt that this was going to be CM Punk's spot. I thought we were going to get Gunther CM Punk here, personally. We saw Punk mention that he was coming for that championship. And this is the next, apart from Survivor Series, that's the next pay-per-view.
Maybe that I don't know. Part of me was like, that they might hold off on that until Royal Rumble, but really you want Punk in the Rumble, don't you? So I don't know with that. They're stacking it. It feels like a proper premium live event, that Saturday night's main event. They're making a big deal of it. Two big matches taking place there.
Considering it's an NBC special in the US, it'll likely be on the network over here. But yeah, it feels like a final pay-per-view for the year, the world's end of WWE type thing for the comparison of AEW. But yeah, they stacked matches. I think we're going to keep the same champions.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Don't think they're dropping them there.
Yeah,
but either way, we've got a few months till then now.
Might do live reactions to that. Does that broadcast live? I assume it does.
Live. Yeah.
I would do reactions for that.
Ooh,
Why not?
There you go. Hot scoop right there.
Yeah, huge. Not there's going to be any title change. It's not worth watching, according to Fraser.
Maybe the tag titles. Maybe we'll finally get the tag titles on a pay-per-view.
There you go.
That is always
not a pay-per-view.
Premium live event.
It's not a premium.
It is to me. It is to me.
It is to me.
It is to me. But that is
Still
all we've
reading
got
me, damn
for you just now. Make sure you tune in to Halloween Havoc tomorrow night with Ross live here on YouTube for live reactions. But we will stay tuned for more wrestling